Welcome back for another edition of the NFL Draft Blitz, always with Kevin Weidl alongside of Steve Muench. Steve, today we're going to talk about the 2014 running back class. And, I want to get into the running back position in general first. You look at it, it's a position I think that's being devalued. I think teams are starting to see this. I think if you go back to the draft, the first round running backs, you'd have to go back to '07, where there's a good class with Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch. But I think if you look at it from '08 through 2012, you had a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of guys fizzle out. I know last year we didn't have a running back in the first round. So just give me your opinion on what you think about this running backs, the position in general.
Well, it's just not as important as it once was. We used to see back in the day that these were ground and pound offenses in the league, and now teams are airing it out more. The passing games become more important, and you value more positions as a result. And we've seen this trend growing until last year, when it was the first time in the modern draft era that they didn't take a running back in the first round.
Well, there you go. And then also, they take such a beating, and they have such a short shelf life, Mensch, that when they go, they bottom out and go. It goes fast when they don't finish up. But just spinning it forward to the 2014 class, like you said, we didn't have a running back taken in the first round last year. I don't think we will this year. I think the top guy on our board, Carlos Hyde, has a chance to sneak into the late first round, but I think he's more of a second. But there's also a guy on day two that's drawing a lot of interest for me and you, and that's Washington running back Bishop Sankey. Tell me what you like about him.
Well, I think the number one thing that you like about him is his feet. He's very quick. He can pick and slide between the tackles. He can get around the corner. He's not an ankle breaker that's going to embarrass guys in space all the time, but he can make the first defender miss. And then he's got that burst. He doesn't have elite top end speed, but he's a little quicker than fast, and he's certainly fast enough to rip off a chunk of yards if he gets a seam. And I also think that he can develop into a good receiver. He's got to work on his pass pro, but he's got big hands and he catches the ball well out of the backfield.
Yeah, I really like his vision, his instincts. I do like his lateral agility to get in and out of holes, weave in and out of traffic near the line of scrimmage as well. I think he gets stronger as the game goes on. You really watch that Oregon State tape, especially the Oregon game. I know they were behind in that game, but he finished strong, and I really think he comes on late in the games.
He's consistent. He's consistent. When you look at his production overall, he's consistently good. It's not he has a great game against a subpar defense. I mean, he played really well against Stanford too. He's consistently good week in, week out. You know what you're getting with him.
And let's not forget, that wasn't a great offensive line he was running behind you.
Correct.
So
yes.
there's another guy that I think is one of the hardest evaluations of the entire running back class, and that's down in Central Florida, Storm Johnson. Right around 6 foot, 215 pounds. This guy's got raw running ability. You look at him, a couple runs in the Penn State game, Louisville game. He's got the ability to make you miss, the acceleration out of cuts. He's just got a lot of wild runs that really keep you sucked in. But there's also some negatives about him. Touch on those real quick.
Well, I think that he tries to make too much happen at times. He's worth the price of admission because you're waiting to see him make that big play. But there are times where he just wants to bounce everything outside. You just want him to turn his shoulders upfield, get north-south quicker. And he also has a hard time holding on to the football, which is a big deal for NFL evaluators. If you can't hold on to the football, you can't get on the field.
That's exactly it. And that's the quickest way to find yourself looking for work as well. So I think he's going to have to show more discipline as an inside runner in between the tackles, not too much east and west, get more north and south, and holding on to the football. In case you guys are wondering, Todd McShay, our colleague, came out with a blog on Wednesday. Make sure you check it out. It's got the fumble percentages of all the running backs. And also check back with us next week for another edition of the NFL Draft Blitz.